Okay, so I know this has been a long time coming, but sweet Christ, I am beyond hyped for Halo Infinite. The old art style's back, though I do love the 343 design for Chief a little bit more than I love the one for this one. To be honest, I hope Chief looks better than he did in Halo 2 Anniversary. Not saying that he looked bad, but my opinion won't change either way, and I won't hold it against 343 because a lot of people wanted the old art style back, so I'm happy that we got it. What I'm really looking forward to is what we're doing on this Halo ring, and if this is an open world game or not. Either way, it will be cool for me. But without further ado, let's hop further into the meat and potatoes of this video. So, following up with Halo Wars 2, I would definitely like to see the Banished team up with Cortana. Atriox hated the Covenant because of what they did to his clan and to him. They constantly sacrificed his clan, throwing him into unwinnable battles just to try and break enemy lines. And at times it would work. They would send 30 every time. 29 would die, and Atriox would be the only person. He got fed up with it, and so he fought back. And it said in the Halo Wars 2 game, in one of the cutscenes, that in the 1,000-year history of the Covenant, he was the first one to rebel against the Covenant and live. Now, I think that he would team up with Cortana because Cortana isn't as evil as the Covenant. Yes, she is evil now, but she's not as twisted as the Prophets were. I don't think she's the type of person to waste resources, and speaking of resources, Atriox has a plethora of weapons and men, and that will aid Cortana very well, especially because now she has the grunts already aligned with her at the end of Halo 5, plus countless AI that went over to her side. I would just like to see those two team up. Another thing that I want to see is the Halo Reach style firefight game mode. Warzone firefight was cool, but I think Halo Reaches was just better. You could do it both on and offline. I don't just want that, but I want to be able to choose the difficulty and the character you get to play as. By character, I mean you want to play as a Spartan 2, 3, 4, and ODST. You get to customize those as you see fit. That includes HUDs. And for maps, we could do the Halo Ring, Reach, Earth, New Mombasa, Argent Moon, Harvest, the original Battle of Harvest. Do a whole bunch of things. Also, in addition, I would like to see the return of Spartan abilities, the Hard Light Shield, the Drop Shield, and the regen barrier, I think it's called, just to name a few. But one thing that needs to be sure is that sprint does not need to be a Spartan ability. It needs to stay as a core feature in the game. It needs to stay as a mechanic that's already into your character. I didn't really like that about Halo Reach. I'm starting to get into it a little bit as I play more Reach, but I just don't like it too much as a Spartan ability. One thing that would definitely be nice to have, at least for me, is have a nice suit-up sequence when you enter war games where your Spartan puts on their helmet and you get to see the HUD turn on. And I've been seeing this on Instagram a whole lot, that people are saying they straight up ripped off Titanfall 2. That's a fallacy. Those people never played Titanfall 2 because I've been playing Titanfall 2 since the tech test. I haven't even played Titanfall 1, and that's something that we don't have in there. We don't see the HUD get to turn on. Sure, you cock the rifle when you spawn in, and sure, the carbine extends a little bit, but that ain't no suit-up sequence. Like, what? Like, get out of here with that. I'll say there's this one point where you spawn in, and then you'll have the War Games projector turn on, right? Like in this little pod thing. I'll give you that, but that ain't no suit-up sequence either. I'm talking about a suit-up sequence where you put on the helmet, see the HUD turn on, grab out the rifle, you turn it on, as we saw in Halo Nightfall, and then boom. That's cool. Also want the invasion game mode to come back from Halo Reach. And I want it to take place during the Human Covenant War. This war took place for 30 years. You can't tell me that you can't find a few good battles. The initial Battle of Harvest, the Battle of Sigma Octantis Fort. How about all of Ghost of Onyx? Something like that. We could do a whole bunch of things with this. And I want it to be by the book type battles, you know? These what if scenarios are cool. By the book just sounds good to me. I also want to be able to fly and drive things in first person. This does by no means have to be 100% first person, because I know a lot of people like that classic Halo feel where they have it in third person. Heck, I even like it like that third person. But just for myself, I would like to be inside the Warthog in first person just for this one time, just as a little, easy turn on and off switch. It's okay if this isn't even in the game. I'd be happy if this game is not in the game. All right, this by no means needs to be in it. Just one that I would like to see. Don't really matter. I don't really care if it's in the game or not. One thing that definitely needs to return is the plasma rifle plasma repeater, and some old weapons. Along with that, dual wielding needs to make a return. Alright, Halo 2 and Halo 3 were able to dual wield. That was some of the coolest stuff ever. Just blasting Covenant down the hallways with 2 plasma repeaters, 2 magnums, do whatever you want. You got 2 hands, you might as well use them. I got 2 guns, you don't, suck it. That was my mentality when I was playing those games. I'll be real. What really did upset me is that we couldn't dual wield in Halo 4 and 5. Not to the point where I stopped playing the games. It was just like whether the Spartan 4s and Chief just forget how to hold things in 2 hands, or dual wield or something like that. Like, what's going on here? Now, wrapping up, I do want to say this. By no means get rid of Fireteam Osiris or Blue Team. Blue Team is literally John's day 1 game. They've been with him ever since the inception of the Spartan 2 program. And yes, their branches did go different ways. For example, Kelly and Fred were on Reach while Lindo is actually floating in space while John was on the Halo ring in Halo 1. So you can see that. But they've always been in the background. They're not new characters by no means. They've been around in Halo just as long as Chief has. Just in the background. You gotta look at the comics, TV shows. You gotta dive into the lore a little bit more than just stick with the games. But they're not new characters. They definitely they don't need to go away. In fact, I think that they will make the Halo series even better. And Fireteam Osiris? Shoot, let's keep them in the game too. I love Buck. All right, I think everybody does. Nobody really has a problem with the homie. So I'm getting rid of a cold right now. With a few bits and pieces of informations we have, I was starting to like them at the end. Vale was on the ship set adrift. And that's how she learned how to speak Sangheili. I thought that pretty cool. As like a nice little, lore for her, little backstory. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool actually. How she used her time to get smarter. That was her term. I could stand around doing nothing, or I could spend my time getting smart. I like that. Meanwhile, Tanaka at the end of the campaign, when Buck asked her to say a quick prayer, that caught me by surprise. I didn't take her as a religious type. I like that, and it's something that we haven't seen in the Halo universe. We haven't seen really a religious human. We've seen the Covenant are fanatical. That's why the whole Great Journey and stuff happened. It's because they were all religious. They all believed in the Great Journey, and that turned out to be a lie. I didn't even think about, hey, are Christians still alive? That was cool how they brought that in. I understand if this has to be in a DLC campaign, and I get that. I do, because a lot of people are gonna want to make room for Chief because we didn't really see too much of him in Halo 5, especially considering the build-up that it had. But Blue Team needs to be in the base game, period. No excuses. Alright? They've been in this game for a very long... they've been in this universe for a very long time. They've contributed so much to UNSC and to humanity. At times, even extending humanity's, I don't want to say life expectancy, but they've been delaying the Covenant from attacking Earth. They've done that. So, they definitely need to be in the game. More appreciation, especially for Linda, Kelly, because those two are really underrated characters, especially Linda. Because when you look into the lore of Linda, what she had to go through and how much of a excellent sniper she is, hands down, she's gonna be your favorite female in any video game, hands down. All right. Well, I'm not gonna say in any video game. I'm gonna say in Xbox video games. I'll keep it at that. I don't think that's too outrageous for me to say. It's not really much I want to say after that point. I did say wrapping up, but there's one last thing that has been bugging me a little bit. I know that they confirmed that split screen is coming back, and I know that they've confirmed a whole bunch of these things, but something that cannot return is the microtransactions. Let's get rid of the microtransactions. Let's get rid of the rec points. All that. Let's make it all through progression. If I want to get a variant of the assault rifle, I either have to do a challenge, or I have to get it through just basic leveling up. I don't want to have to get it in a rec pack. I hated that. It took me 3 years just to get the DMR, for God's sake. Ugh. Rec points need to go away. One customization thing I would like to have is to be able to customize your HUD. I'll go into more detail about this a little bit later. I haven't really gotten like I don't know how to articulate my voice on this a lot more because no one's really talking about it except for me. So I would really like to get that out there. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll see y'all later. The Hyper Halo Infinite is real. Later.